Hey everybody, Jake and Gino here. And Gino and I today are going to talk about the 4 phases to achieving financial freedom. Now, it's much easier to look back and discuss the journey once you've already done it. But for many of you out there, you may be just getting started on your path to financial freedom. Now, myself, back in the day, I was a drug rep. Gino was an amazing chef. Now, today, we're real estate investors with over $100 million in multifamily assets. So life has changed quite a bit for us. And we feel that it's our duty to share our story with you and how we got there and what the 4 phases of financial freedom are, because we believe that clarity can lead to results. So, Gino, why don't you hit the folks with the first one?
Jake, I just want to tell all the folks we're just like they are right now. Back a few years ago, we just decided and we created a plan. So, everyone listening to this, I want you to really adopt these 4 phases and see with just a few changes in your life, you'll be able to achieve this financial freedom that we're talking about. Now, I want everyone to write this down. Number one, maybe the toughest one, it's all about you. You need to decide and prepare. That was tough for me. It took me a long time to get to this phase. I was working in the grind. I was working, in my business. I wasn't working on my business. When I ultimately decided that I wanted financial freedom, I entered that first phase. And what did that look like? It looked like taking massive education, going on and starting to learn all about investing. I want everyone out there in this first phase, it's very important. Your personal financial statement becomes your report card. You have to get your expenses in order, your income in order. You start creating a budget for yourself. You start creating a FFA, as we like to call it, the financial freedom account, where you're going to start putting in your savings in there and start buying assets in there. You start creating savings for emergency funds, so you have money allocated on the side that if something happens. But this first phase is a really tough phase. Once you enter it, there is no looking back. I like to call this phase the burn the ships phase, and that's what happened with me and Jake. We burned those ships. We decided that education is massive. Education times action is going to get your results, and this is where you start taking your massive education in phase one.
In phase one, we worked extremely hard. I was working weekends, I was working nights, whatever it took, because I knew that my W-2 job at the time was not going to, get the results that I desired. So we had to work really hard, but also we had to work on ourselves. I think this is the most important time. 90% of this first phase is mental. There's a lot of hard work with it, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to work on yourself. And I think a key for Gino and myself at this point was we took an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. And that led to so much more than being tight-fisted at times. And we allowed for, other folks to come into our lives and to grow the entire pie. So that was a tremendous piece to that.
So everybody, once again, decide and prepare phase one. Now I want everyone to write this down for phase two. Phase two is you're actually achieved quote unquote financial freedom. Your passive income is greater than your expenses. This is another scary phase because what is it to do? Do you continue on with your job, your comfort, or do you say, I'm going to leave my job and I'm going to pursue investing or a business full time, whatever that may look like for you? For me, I weaned off my restaurant. I took an extra 6 months. I went into real estate full time during the week. And like Jake said, grinding it out 7 days. And then when I felt comfortable, I had enough income coming in, because if everyone doesn't know, I have 6 kids. Living in New York, my expenses were truly high. I wanted to make sure it was the right fit for me. But you'll know in this phase, it'll be part, like Jake said, it'll be your sole purpose. It'll be your burning desire. And once you start focusing on it, the RAS, as Jake likes to call the flux capacitor or the reticular activating system, once you leave that job and you go into an endeavor full time, all of a sudden that RAS kicks on and you're going to see opportunities come into your life that you didn't have during that phase one. So phase two, achieving passive income greater than expenses.
Insider's notes to phase two. Are you going to let your foot off the gas because you feel like you've achieved it, or are you going to keep going and duplicating the systems that have worked? That's going to be an inflection point for many of you out there. In addition to that, are you going to, at this point, are you going to be able to grow? Are you going to be able to put real systems into place, or are you going to feel comfortable where you are? So that's some of the stuff that you're going to hit when you hit this phase two, because we've been there.
Those are great points, Jake. Now, phase three, I want you to write phase three down. All of a sudden, you have abundance in your life, true abundance, that if you want to go out and you have a large purchase, whether it's buying a car, whether it's buying a home, you can do it without the stress. But in phase three, it's ironic because In this phase, you're not really stressing out and looking to spend money. In this phase, Jake and I are really excited. We call this the snowball phase. All of a sudden, we've created multiple businesses and we have multiple incomes coming in from those businesses, and we're loving to reinvest that money into another business to create additional revenue streams. So in this phase 3, it's an exciting part because you're learning about yourself. Like Jake said, you're trusting other team members. You're able to bring on, like Jake likes to call, the people, the systems, and the
The A
culture.
players.
And you're actually truly understanding what business is there for. Business is like money. It's just a vehicle to take you from point A to point B. And you're truly starting to live your sole purpose. And you're truly starting to see life as not just scarcity, but there is a lot of abundance. And if you adopt that go-giver mentality between this phase 2 and phase 3, you're going to get so much more in return, not just monetary contributions. Because I'm going to tell everybody out there, some people are so poor, all they have is money. And in phase 3, you're not only going to have money, you're going to have the contribution. You're going to have the go-giver mentality where you're helping others. And from that, you'll get something we call money in return.
Yeah, and in this phase, you're going to be at the point where you're leveraging non-recourse business debt, and you have zero personal debt. So that's the beautiful culmination of all this, is you're truly living life on your own terms at this point, and you're able to go out like we've done with our Rand Cares and do some really great charitable giving as well. And you know, again, just it's all about that control over your time and how you're going to invest in yourself and your people.
Phase 4 is the truly ultra rich, ultra wealthy. You want to go out and buy a jet? You want to go out and buy a yacht? That's great. Not everyone decides to go to phase 4. Right now, I'm really comfortable in the phase 3 range. Like we're saying, own your story. Are you building your dream? If you want to go to phase 4 and create that super wealth, you can do it. If you want to stay in phase 2, you can do it. If you want to linger around the phase 3 area, you can do it. It's whatever you decide that fits right for your lifestyle and for your goals.
Gino, I completely agree with that. You know, we're here to help people achieve their financial freedom through multifamily investing. And we know multifamily is the vehicle that can achieve all this for folks. But to your point, it's about you and where you want to take it and how far you want to take it. So, best of luck, everyone. And we'll see you on the other side.
Jake, as I like to say, we're here for Jake and Gino. We're here to build financial intelligence because we know
Mhm.
people with financial intelligence can change the world for the better. Thanks, everyone.
Amen. Thanks, Gino.